Attention. Class is now in session. Education, information, informative to oneself.
Young Black Boy
History, past, present.
Can't stop, ma. You ain't got time. Erase my mind, but still I shine, and it gets to me. When thinking about our history, they took away our books. Now everything seems like a mystery. We went from having gold to being sold. Now we fighting for the right to save our souls. Just remember, we're still mad ill. They kill Emmett Till. If we all stand together, we create Black Shield.
Education of 146,000 days, 400 years, mysterious tears, scars bound to stay. Culture stolen, reprimanded, names thrown away. Revolutionist movement came because this was bound to change. Chains, shackled, obtained, pronounced slaves. Separation of families and crucified in the rain. Brainwashed to believe there was no hope to attain. Then we staged the war and the victory we have claimed. Black education, artillery, know your history. Because an ignorant soul is only a mystery. One hand, one soul, one stand, one goal. United as one army and divided if we fold. Black shields, new mission. Black shields, one vision. Black shields, reliving. Black shields, the times we living in. Because it was MLK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and the rest who all paved the way. Digest, materialized education of our emancipation. Proclamation of our freedom in the sacred pages. Inform yourself of the movement and its many stages. Don't take this biased respect to all different races. Just educate self of all the many different phases. Black shields, black love must improve our situation.
Can't stop, ma. You ain't got time. Erase my mind, but still I shine, and it gets to me. Thinking about our history, they took away our books. Now everything seems like a mystery. We went from having gold to being sold. Now we fighting for the right to save our souls. Just remember, we're still mad ill. They kill Emmett Till. If we all stand together, we create Black Shield. Can't stop, ma. You ain't got time. Erase my mind, but still I shine, and it gets to me. Thinking about our history, they took away our books. Now everything seems like a mystery. We went from having gold to being sold. Now we fighting for the right to save our souls. Just remember, we're still mad ill. They kill Emmett Till. If we all stand together, we create Black Shield. Cotton fields to the bill, saints in New Orleans. I'm here to tell you about a legacy that has been stolen. Actually, this is a message. If they laugh at me, I spit something that shake their ass about the apathy. My elders told me age 7, get your education. You gotta take it, son. They ain't gonna give you reparations. I did that college shit and now I'm spitting knowledge on another continent. I'm blasting off like I'm a rocket ship. Fred Hampton, Huey P. Remember Stephen Biko, Patrice Lumumba, and Kwame Nkrumah for the people. Nat Turner, David Hill, even Bobby Seale. I bet Malcolm X and Martin, they dreamed of Emmett Till. Revolution of self, elevate the mind state. Boost up the reading score, down with the crime rate. Clown with the now is great, profound and it sound great. Marching all in unison until we make the ground shake. One love, one stance, one God, one aim. Reverse mental conditioning until we all become sane. Whenever you say something real, they always coming after you like Dracula. Still say unify the diaspora. Senegal to Detroit, Eskimos and the Haitians. Compton to Berlin, Hawaii to the Bayesians, the Europeans and Asians. Patient, staging a worldwide city. And listen, Black Shield, new mission. Can't stop.
There we go. We in there now. Top of the top, bottom of the bottom, however you want to call it, but we here. You know what I mean? Happy Macma Saturday. You know, it's not often y'all catch us doing the top of the top with King Phillip on a Saturday. And it's not often where Phillip is actually seeing a 1047. You know what I mean? On my phone, it says 2247. In Timbit, you know, I'd be knocked out. I'm hitting my RAM sleep around this stage, around this time. But like I said, we here. You know what I mean? You tapped into the top of the top with King Phillip, where we talk about the issues that I talk about, the issues that I see within the Black community that I'm not supposed to say anything about. And the moment I start talking about these issues, those in our own community feel attacked and go on attack. All right, that's not the mission. That's not the vibe. That's not why we here. You know, the mission is to look at these issues. Let's figure out how we can change these issues internally so that the external is a reflection of the internal change that we are doing. All right. I didn't have to go out and do a whole lot of research to back up what I'm saying, because I have a lived experience that's giving me the credibility to talk about these issues. I'm also like, you know, you don't have to wait to give Phillip a piece of your mind, because Phillip already said what I'm going to say. and I meant it. You intimate. So if you feeling some kind of way, but they say if you feeling froggy, nigga, then leap. Nah, don't leap this way. Sure, I don't want no problems. I don't want no troubles. But I am gonna talk about these issues. All right. Um, let's go ahead and do the quick little run through. And I know I'm missing something. If you haven't so far, check out the website. Makeachessmove.org. Don't stop there. We are on all things social /Macam 303. What that means is facebook.com /Macam 303. We got that Instagram thing, you know what I mean? /Macam 303. We got that Twitter thing booming, /Macam 303. We got that Pinterest.com /Macam 303. That YouTube channel /C /Macam 303. And we also, if you got a business that you want us to plug, go ahead and shoot us your IG so we can go ahead and plug you quick fast. All right. Go ahead and holler at my man's over there at East End Visions _apparel. You know what I mean? Get you some of that good old East First apparel. You intimate the Bell side first, whatever Montbello, Hillside, whatever first. The vision is unity, bringing it all together. All right, go ahead and check them out. Tap in with Gems for Queens, you know what I mean? Get you right and bedazzled. All right, don't stop there. Holla at my man B with the in game associations, you know what I mean? And check out the homegirl Body Love by Tal. You know what I mean? I ain't even got it on me today, or else I would have flashed it for y'all so y'all can see, you know what I mean, the whole nine. I ain't even got it on me today. I thought I did. That's the crazy part because I don't go home without it. But that's just me. All right. But we are here today. You know what has brought me here this evening? Y'all would not believe it's only February. All right, it's February. I recently so this is I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all in on what we talking about. So this is a message to black nonprofit leaders from a black nonprofit leader who's struggling in some areas and excelling in other areas. All right, I'm struggling when it comes to my board of directors. I've made it a mission to bring on majority black folks onto the board. You know what I mean? Specifically black women. All right. Onto the board just because I believe in the power of black women. I believe in the leadership of black women. Not to say that, other folks, Mexican folks or white folks, I don't believe in their leadership, but me coming from the background that I come from, where I had a black woman raising me, my grandmother, RIP. She taught me a lot, so I tend to lean on black women when it comes to leadership, on that end. But the struggle that I have been faced with lately was in the nonprofit sector, you must have a board of directors. All right, a minimum of 3. And in that board of directors, there's a certain thing called a quorum. All right, a quorum. And a quorum basically means that in order for any vote to count, you have to have a minimum of whatever it says in your bylaws. All right. I believe ours say like a 75%, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. But you must have a quorum for the board to vote on specific situations and stuff like that. So, for example, each year your organization must have a budget approved by the board, meaning that the board will look over your budget. They will see if it makes sense. They will make sure that you can hit these budget numbers by the budget narrative that y'all come up with as an organization. All right. And 90% of that work is being led by those who are working in the organization, not by the board. The board's idea. The board is responsible for being informed and voting. All right. If they're not informed, they can't make a informed vote. They have a fiduciary responsibility to the organization and to make sure that the money is being spent how it's supposed to be spent. All right. I'm also saying too, when it comes back, to this quorum, if you do not meet quorum, meaning if you have board members that do not show up to these meetings, all right, you will not have quorum, which means that whatever you need to get voted on won't count because you don't have quorum. You didn't meet quorum. All right. So this brings me back to this point. The past 2 months, we've had 2 board meetings. You know what I mean? We meet every month, once a month, you know what I mean? And I think, I was asking folks, am I asking too much out of my board? It's 5 hours a month, including the time that we meet, the hour and a half that we meet. Is that asking too much? 5 hours, is that asking too much? And everybody who I've asked that to, they're like, no, 5 hours, that's nothing. You know what I mean? So coming back to it, the last 2 months, we've had a board meeting where we did not meet quorum. All right. So my role in the organization officially is the executive director, unofficially is the guardian. Guardian basically meaning I have to protect Macam from anything that's going to try to destroy us from inside the organization or outside of the organization. And some folks' actions, whether or not they see it, is very destructive to the organization. We cannot do no work if we don't have the budget to do the work on. We can't write no grants if we don't have the budget to go on and to these foundations that we're submitting these grants to. And we can't do that if we don't have quorum. So I'm getting to we have board members, black women. I love black women who are not showing up. And they ask, I've asked these black women, I asked these folks to be a part of the board. I've asked them if they, if they have the capacity, first of all, to work with the board. It wasn't me begging them and, you know what I mean? All of that trying to get people on the board, because there are people who are eager and want to serve on the board. All right, I'm going to say that. So everybody who I've asked, definitely. I would love to be on Malcolm's board. I would love to help support Malcolm in that capacity. Yes, I would love to. We're getting down to it. All right. And this is the message to nonprofit leaders. Take note of this. All right. When you have your board members who are not showing up, you can either continue to rock with them or you can do something. What I recently did is not in our bylaws that I can do this. All right, what I recently did was I sent an email out to our full board, just basically releasing 4 board members off of my board, just because of the fact, we're supposed to have these conversations in the board meeting and stuff like that, in terms of just the direction that we're going to go with the organization and so forth. But in order for us to have these conversations, folks must show up. Everybody on the board know that we meet the last Monday of every month from 6 to 7:30. All they have to do is pull their phone out, boom, click the link, and they're in the meeting. All right. They don't have to leave the comfort of their house. They don't have to drive to our office to meet. They can fix them some food in their own houses, whatever the case may be. Phillip is going to be in that meeting, and Phillip is going to have his camera on. I know how effective. I know how having your camera on in a meeting where it's damn near virtual now. I know how effective it is to have your camera on versus having it off. But that's what we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about folks not showing up. Again, in order to have these conversations with the board, they have to show up so that we can have these conversations. If they don't show up, then I made my move. Again, I'm a chess player. I know that if I keep taking this route where I have board members who are on my board who do not show up to board meetings so we can get some work done, I know that's going to bring Malcolm down. I know that's going to fuck everything up that we've done to build up to this point. I know that. That's common sense type of shit. I know that. So I decided to send an email out releasing four board members, all black, releasing four board members from their board duties. All right. Two of them very understanding, very, you know what I mean? They understood what it was. They understood that they couldn't put the time that they wanted to, you know what I mean, because of what they had going on, you know what I mean? So two of them, they understood that. One I haven't heard back from. She was our board chair, you know, I haven't heard back from her. And another one, she's spazzed out. She brought the whole, this is a different type of energy that I never seen before, because I'm releasing her from the board, from, you know, meetings that she's not showing up to. Mind you, we have our minutes. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull this up for y'all real fast, because I don't want y'all to think that I'm just talking this jazz like that and put this stuff together. You know what I mean? When it do come down to this here business thing, I do try to be on my shit. All right. I do try to be on my shit. So let me go ahead and share my screen with y'all real fast, just so y'all can see where I'm at. All right. Cause I do try to be on my shit, you know what I mean? No cap. All right. Um, so I'm here. Hopefully y'all here with me. Y'all can see what I'm seeing. All right. So I come into, where's my Macam board folder? Macam board of directors, Macam reports, our Macam monthly meeting agenda. Here's our minutes. All right. These are our approved minutes. So we have every meeting that we had from this month. I mean, from last year. If you notice, there's only 10 for one, because you know, there's multiple meetings in here where we didn't meet quorum, but there's two of them in here where we didn't even meet. All right. But if I click on one of them, you can see, all right, you can see we have our agenda right here, and we have the attendance, you know what I mean, in our minutes. So you can see the staff, what staff was present. You can see what board members were present. You can see what board members were absent. All right. So that's in every agenda. That's in all of our minutes that we have recorded. All right. I try to stay on top of it. I'm saying all that to say, the person who's giving me extra energy, who I'm like, where is this coming from, only attended 5 meetings last year. And one of them was a special meeting that didn't count towards towards the board meetings, because that was another meeting, you know what I mean? But I'm saying that to say, that person is bringing a whole lot of negative energy, you know, and asking all these questions, saying Phillip can't do this because he don't have that power to release board members. Phillip can't do this because, and I'm just sitting up here like, where is this coming from? Like, you couldn't come to the meetings to say this? You wait until I release y'all from y'all's duty to start bringing all the extra energy. Mind you, you got to pay attention, you know. And the thing is, you can pay attention and just forgive folks always, or sweep it under the rug always, but that shit don't always end like it's supposed to. Let me tell you, I have a board member, one who I just released. She was leading the My Brother's Keepers in Denver for the past 3-4 years. We've always been a part of My Brother's Keepers, where they paid the youth to participate in Macam. With her leading My Brother's Keepers last year, Macam wasn't at that table. Macam didn't get to hire any youth from My Brother's Keepers so that we can pay them to work with Macam this past summer. And she was on our board. I mental noted the fuck out of that. Like, How does that make sense? How do you have a board member in a position in My Brother's Keepers who don't put the organization who they're on the board with into that position to hire youth and stuff like that? But we're not talking about that. You know, she wasn't talking about that in the email. She was talking about what Phillip can and can't do. And Phillip is at the point where Phillip is not going to allow somebody from inside of the organization to bring this shit down. And that's exactly what is happening. By our own. This is by our own. Why? Why? It's fucked up. If y'all don't have the time, and this is a message to people in general, if you do not have the time to serve on board, say that. 5 hours a month, that is not shit. But I do appreciate every time that everybody has put in, because I do recognize that it's free work. And I appreciate it. But if you do not have the 5 hours to commit to Macam and the work that we're doing, don't be on the board. If you don't have the time to serve on any board, if you don't have the capacity to jump on, I mean, like I said, it's nowadays you just got to pull your phone out and hit the link. Folks is showing up drunk to the board meetings. I ain't saying don't. I ain't saying you can't. Folks is showing up to the board meetings at other events that they're doing. Not reading the minutes, not coming to the board meetings ready. And that's part of the job as board members is come into these spaces prepared. Our goal with Macam, our mission is to build a just society by developing tenacious learners, compassionate leaders, and ethically driven critical thinkers. That don't mean shit if we can't get the board to approve the budget so that we can do the work. And it just came down to my attention that I am not the only one. Macam is not the only one that's going through problems with Black board members. I would always say, you know, my big issue has always been, and I've always said something about the Crips, but I'm like, shit, I think that Black professionals is worse than them niggas. The Crips, I can accept them not being on time, but I can accept the Crips not showing up. I can accept the Crips not communicating. But we're talking about folks with PhDs, masters, 50,000 letters after their names who want to throw that shit in your face every time they do an introduction. Like, I'm a astrophysicist, philosopher, whatever the fuck, engineer. But can't communicate when you send the email with the agenda out with at the bottom, I'm saying, if you cannot make it to the meeting, please let me know. That's too much to ask for when it comes to these Black business professionals. And that's fucked up. It's sad because they know better. They know better. But when I say something about it, when I mention it, when I talk to them about it, oh, it's a problem now. It's a problem to talk to them about something that they know better. Black professionals. Had a board member that would rather show up to somebody getting an award, a feel-good award, than to show up to a board meeting. Man, you got to pay attention to this stuff. You got to mental note everything. And again, I'm this is sober Phillip talking. This is sober Phillip. I'm what's today's date? Today's the 5th. Sure. I stopped smoking weed January 7th. I ain't drunk shit and I hate drinking. All right. That was the last time I did anything that altered my mental capacity, that altered my mental state, was January 7th. All right. Um, I'm approaching like 30 days, you know what I mean? I'm approaching that full month in a bit. But I'm saying all that to say, with me seeing clearly, with me understanding clearly, with me not getting high to fuck it. Let me blow this zip real fast and fuck it. You know what I mean? Well, I come up with another plan. Fuck it. Let me sweep this shit under the rug. I'm not sweeping nothing under the rug anymore. I'm not sweeping nothing under the rug. And I again, I want to send a shout out to, you know what I mean, to all the board members who have put in the time to get us to where we are, to the board members who I've learned so much from. I want to send a shout out to my man CQ, you know what I mean, doing his thing, to our current board, doing their thing. We gonna get past this little phase right now. You know what I mean? But because my man Q, he has set that bar high. You know what I mean? He was in every meeting on time, early, prepared. He sent out the agenda meetings, everything that we needed at least a week before our meeting. Now they fucking with me. They'll get the agenda the day before, the day of the meeting, the day before the meeting. Like shit, fuck. That's not my job though either. I mean, y'all like, well, this is Mac, and it's supposed to be your job. But there's a rules of order. There's the Roberts rules of order. And according to that rules of order, everything that is going to be presented to the board, everything that is going to be talked about, the agendas, everything is supposed to be constructed by the board chair. My man CQ did the fuck out of that, man. He held that shit down like ain't nobody gonna top that. You know what I mean? I had a board chair before. She did that, but she was I ain't getting into I ain't getting all that. But my man CQ, he stepped in when she stepped down and shine like the North Star in this bitch. You understand it? But I'm saying all that to say too, and again, I'm coming back to it. If y'all don't have the capacity, to serve on these boards like they're supposed to be served on, don't get on the boards. I don't know why y'all are getting on these boards, because the energy that I would put forth, this is the energy that I bring to the table. If anybody on my board needed Phillip to come and do something for them, whatever the case may be, just know that Phillip is going to show up. Phillip is going to be on time. Phillip is going to be ready. Let me say that again. Phillip is going to show up. Phillip is going to be on time, and Phillip is going to be ready. That's the energy that I bring. If somebody come and do something for Malcolm, just know that that's the same energy that I'm bringing back to you. And as organization leaders, it's our responsibility to peep game and make adjustments. We got to move accordingly. We can't, it don't care about, it don't matter how people feel about you moving accordingly. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do to help the organization thrive. That's the purpose of the board. The board is supposed to help the organization thrive. All right. Like I said, I love Black women. I believe in Black women's leadership, but I believe I just chose the wrong Black women. Let me say that again. I believe I just chose the wrong Black women. Like I said, I believe in Black women and I trust Black women when it comes to leadership, but I believe I chose the wrong Black women. So when it comes down to choosing your board, again, this is a message to nonprofit leaders. Make sure you're choosing right, not based off of relationships that you think you may have with folks, because that shit will People will show you what it is once you start making moves that is going to go against how they thought or whatever the fuck they thought. If you're making moves that's going to protect your organization, and if it's a move against somebody else, do it. Do it. Because the moves that they're making is clearly showing us that they don't give a fuck about the work that we're doing when it comes to these nonprofits. They don't know that this Macam shit, I'm speaking specifically for Phillip now, this Macam shit is not a game for me. I'm not playing when it comes to this Macam. My daughter, she told me one day she want to be the president of Macam. She's 5 years old. My son, he's 10. He can't wait to work for Macam. My other son, he don't say too much about getting down with Macam, but I know he'll get down. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying all this to say, I'm going to protect Macam. All right. When it comes to loyalty, I am loyal to Macam. I am loyal to good folks, to good people. Some of y'all just expect shit. That's not a vibe. It's not a vibe just because you tied into circles that got the mayor and all these other important, man, fuck all of them. Don't give a fuck about none of them. Don't see them in the community like they should be. They ain't making no impacts in the community like they should be, but they want to get all these awards and shit like that. Go ahead. Y'all can accept all of them. Every award I'm going to decline, I'm going to make sure they go y'all's way. Every interview I decline, I'm going to make sure they I'm declining everything. We ain't interested in no awards. I'm not filling out no application to get no awards. No, that shit's silly. I'm going to do the work because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what God has sent me here for, is to do the work. And if there's something impeding the work from getting done, I got to get whatever is blocking what's in my way the fuck out. Come on. Y'all. And these are black professionals. Again, mind you, these are black professionals. College degrees, PhDs, all kinds of diplomats. They got certifications and all kinds of other shit. Phillip don't give a fuck about none of that shit, and y'all are showing me why I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm sure I can get the Crips to show up. I can bet on that. Sure. I can bet on that. They will show up. As much shit as I talk about the Crips will show up. We got people on the board that only came three board meetings last year. Let's do right. Let's be good. Let's do good. It's not hard to do good. It's not hard to be good. My loyalty was questioned. My loyalty was questioned. Oh man. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. You know what I mean? If every Macam member was just like me, what would this world be? You know what I mean? Peace.